Hey guys, welcome to Late Night Sessions with Bean. And today I'm chilling with one of my newfound favorite power couples, Thando and Lindie. And they're here to have a chat with me about money and all things saving money and how to handle money. Hi guys, welcome.
Hey,
Hi.
thank you for having us. It's great to be here.
Thank you guys for giving me a piece of your time. Would you introduce yourself to the people?
Absolutely. So, my name is Thando, and my wife is Lindie, and we both run a company called Skilled Finances, which is a personal finance company for young adults and young couples, where we teach essentially all things to do with money. And we've been doing that since the beginning of this year. So, currently we are on two platforms, if you'd like. So, one is on Instagram, and that's at Skilled Finances, and we have a website at skilledfinances.com.
Awesome stuff. So, what in your opinion is actually financial health?
I'd basically say that financial health would be the state of your finances. So in the same way that someone with a car would make sure that their car's running properly, they'd take it to a service, they'd make sure like the oil's changed, they make sure the brakes are working. So financial health is just making sure that your finances are in a good place and in good standing. And it would mean like checking things like your net worth, checking your savings, your investments, how your assets are in comparison to your debts. So you'd be in good financial health if your assets were more than your debts, basically.
Okay.
So that's what we'd say it means to us.
I had no idea what financial health is.
Yeah, and
So I'm actually learning through this.
absolutely. That's one of the things not many people even think there is such a thing as financial health. And in many ways, that's understandable. But like Linda said, it's so critical in the same way that you check your car health, your personal health, your gadget health, your finances also have a health to know about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I've had countless conversations about this with my friends, but actual steps to take until I actually, consciously started looking. And so then that's how I found you guys. I was
Okay.
like, okay, so as much as I want to give people this information, I also want it for myself. Like, I also want to know how to save money and how to handle money, because I feel like that's not a lesson that we're taught in school or at home, especially in the African setup.
Exactly.
Like, it's just not there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we grew up in African households for us.
Yeah.
We're both from Zimbabwe. And so we totally understand.
So why is it important that we all consider money coaching, especially in this day and age, especially for us as millennials?
Do you know what? We live in what is known as the information age. So essentially, we're living in days where there's plenty of information out there. And so what you'll find is that a lot of people will then conclude that I don't need a coach because I can Google it, I can YouTube it, I can watch a video or listen to a podcast or read a book. And that's actually really, really good. That's a great thing that we are in the information age where there's so much information out there. But that's where the problem then comes in, because personal finances are personal first. So what that means is that what may work for me may not work for you, or what's suitable for my situation is not suitable for your situation.
Yeah.
So coaching is then very important, in my opinion, because it gives you the opportunity to have an understanding of your personal circumstance, what would be or what could be the best position or the best decisions to make. Because for instance, you could have two people who are both in debt and both want to pay off debt, but the way that debt is built up is very different. And their income would be very different. Their disposable income would be very different. Their lifestyles would be very different. So different people would need a way of knowing what works for me. And for me, that is where coaching can really help you. Coaching is a way that can really help you to understand, okay, what should work for me? And, how can I move forward? Because in the information age, it's easy to get overloaded by so much information.
Yeah.
Get confused. I don't know what to do. I don't know what else works. So then coaching is for me, that's the beauty of getting a financial coach.
So it's basically like, I'm not feeling well, I'll go on Google and WebMD tells me I have cancer.
Yeah.
And I start panicking,
I love
not
that.
knowing that there's a lot of symptoms for a lot of things. And like, my body is different. So what's on WebMD may not necessarily be what I'm going through. Okay, now
Exactly.
I get it.
I love that. That's a really good analogy. I really love that.
No, I get it now. Okay, so what are the most common frustrations or concerns or questions like among your clients that you like in the past year that you've experienced or gotten?
We'd say that a lot of people or tend to say that they've got lack of knowledge when it comes to their finances. And
Mm-hmm.
that's something that we had as well. Like growing up, we were not taught about those things. It's not like we went to school and we're taught about them. We weren't really
Yeah.
taught about them at home either. So you then have to learn for yourself. You have to educate yourself. And it becomes very hard to navigate, like to then get out of debt once you're in it if you've got lack of knowledge. And then it becomes very hard to start saving or building your credit score if you've never been taught
Mm-hmm.
about it. And then now you need maybe to get a house and you need the credit score, but you've not been taught about it. So a lot of people have that lack of knowledge and they're just trying to really educate themselves. But then we've also found that with couples and people in relationships, a lot of people then struggle with how to handle finances when they're in a relationship, because when you're by yourself, you spend for one, you budget for one,
Yeah.
and it's just you. But then when you're now in a relationship, you've got two different people coming into a relationship with two different spending habits, two different budgeting habits, if they
Yeah,
do
true.
budget at all. So it means that you have to then find common ground and a way to deal with your finances. And some people then are not sure whether, like, do we deal with our finances jointly? Do we join them together and deal with them as one? Or do you have his and
Mm-hmm.
hers? Or she pays these bills, I pay these bills and stuff like that. So that, I'd say those are the main or common frustrations that we found with our clients.
Yeah. And most of the stuff that you raised is stuff that I also think about.
Right.
And I can just imagine if two people come together and they have zero financial knowledge or financial health, it could be a mess.
It could be, yeah. And one of the common things actually, which you'll find, and you might find in your situation later on, is that despite the fact that you love each other and you're both in agreement that you want to be together and all the rest of it, you would actually be quite opposite in some of the way you handle money. So it's very common that people in a relationship, one of them is more of a spender and the other one is more of a saver.
I can testify to that one.
Yeah.
I'd say I'm the saver and Thando's the spender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't expect that one.
No, that's how we are. But you see, the key part for me is the fact that we know this. So
Yeah.
because we know this, we've then sort of figured out how we can work to accommodate those two.
Yeah,
different
so
movements.
you compensate for it and you plan for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
We do what works for both. So then I don't spend in a way that she panics, and then she doesn't save in the way that I feel like, well, what's going on? Where's the money?
Okay, yeah, that's a healthy balance.
Yeah.
That's a really healthy
Yeah,
balance.
and that is the key when it comes to relationships and money. It's really about finding that balance and maintaining it. It's not just finding it, but it's maintaining it, because it could easily change over the years, different
Yeah,
situations.
definitely.
Life changes. You change jobs. You may move cities. You may buy a house. You may have a child. And finding that balance and maintaining that balance. But yeah, that is a big part of it.
So what are your top 5 most recommended smart money skills for young people in our day and age?
I'd say definitely learn about money, gain the knowledge that you need, raise the awareness that you need in terms of money, budgeting, savings, and debts. Because like we were saying, a lot of us have not grown up with those skills. These are things that we're having to learn as we grow. So that would be one of my first things, to just learn, just educate yourself and just know how to deal with your finances, really.
I guess the second one for me would be to budget at the very least. That budgeting is the foundation for me. And by budgeting, really what that means is that you are listing out all your income and also listing out all your outgoings to figure out, okay, what is happening with my money, where it's going exactly every month or every week, whatever works for you. And then what that does is it just kind of gives you the control that you need to then be in a position whereby you can start to make the decisions based on the information that your budget is showing you. You could then look at your budget and actually realize, oh, I'm spending too much in this area, so let me cut down. And I'm not giving myself enough money towards paying off debts or savings, so let me figure out how I can do that. But just learning the basics of budgeting is the foundation to everything else.
Yeah.
So that's the second thing I'd say.
And I'd also say that it's never too early or too late to start managing your finances. Because you can never be too young for it. Like, you can never be too young to be taught how to manage them and how to budget, but it's never too late either, because we all make mistakes in life and maybe we spend too much here or there, but it's never too late to then start managing them. I guess the issue then comes if you just choose to not do anything at all and just ignore your finances and ignore the debts and ignore everything. But as long as you can do something about it, do something about it.
Before you just spiral into debt that you can't control anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, yeah. The fourth one I would say is actually, it's a different slant. I'll probably say learn the professional world or the business world, depending on whether you're doing a business or you're working, and to really learn how to navigate that. The reason why I'm saying this is because at the end of the day, your income still has a part to play in this. So it's not only about managing where your outgoings are, but it's also about leveraging, okay, what's coming in, and really taking the time to understand, plan your career. Like, I remember when I was 20, I didn't really think about anything like, oh, what job would I like to be in 5 years' time? Or where would I like to be in 2 years' time? Those things were not in my head. I was just in a job, and I was getting paid, and I was partying over the weekend, and that was it.
There was enough.
And that was enough. So I would definitely say, no matter the age, to be honest, just take the time to really think about career-wise, where you're headed, what does it look like, income-wise, what are you aiming towards, or even not just income, but also things like, your pensions, because nowadays your pensions are most likely going to be funded by the company you work for most of the time. So then you want to make sure that, okay, am I making the right moves that would basically be financially good for me in the future? Because it's not just about today.
Yeah.
So that's my fourth one. And fifth one, because you asked for five, yes. The fifth one would be to actually just enjoy yourself, honestly, because it's one of the other things as well with, particularly with young people, right? It's easy for us, I'm 30 years old, Lindie's 27, so I would like to think,
you are still young. You're still one of us.
Yeah, we haven't gone over the other side yet. We're still here. So I would say enjoy the ride, because it's easy for us to kind of start to beat ourselves down because, we still live at home with our parents, or we're not married yet, or we don't drive this car, or we don't own this house yet, or we don't earn this salary yet.
We're not doing what our peers are now doing. That's the other pressure that's there.
Exactly that. You're looking at LinkedIn, you're seeing this person's got a new job, or you look at Instagram and you see this person's traveled here and there and everywhere.
Yeah.
We live in a culture whereby comparison is really so prevalent, and it's a killer of your present joy. So I would say learn to enjoy yourself. The reason why this is key is because, money is a big part of our lifestyle. And so if you feel like, oh, I don't earn enough to travel or whatever, it's easy to then go back into debt to fund that desire. But the whole reason why you're doing that is not because you really want to travel, is because you want to look good on Instagram,
That's true.
Just learn to enjoy where you are, be grateful for where you are, and understand that this is a journey. You won't be a millionaire tomorrow. You will get there one day. It's a journey. It's a journey of building, of changing your lifestyle and saving month by month, or investing month by month, whatever it is. But just enjoy your present day, and don't get too caught up in comparisons.
Yeah, and enjoy it in your means.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
Okay. So, what are your favorite money management tools and resources? What are you reading? What should we read? What blogs should we check out? Software, apps? Your website, you also turn to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would start off by saying go to skilledfinances.com.
Definitely, that's number one.
I would say that in terms of tools, I'd say that there's definitely apps that you can use. We live in such a digital age where there's so many things. You can go on your phone and look at money saving tools, budgeting tools, and you'll find them, in terms of apps and that. And the one that we basically use to help us budget is called Yolt. So Yolt is really good at you just input your budget, and then it will let you know when you're close to your budget amount, and it will let you know when money is meant to come out and things like that. It's really good at helping you budget stay within your budget. And
how do you spell that? I just want to jot it
sorry.
down.
It's YOLT.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. And I personally prefer it because a lot of the times I'll get a message on Yacht telling me like, oh, Lindie, you've got this amount coming out tomorrow, this amount's coming out your bank tomorrow. And it will also tell me like when I'm almost at the end of my budget. So if we go food shopping, for example, and I spend from our food account, it will then tell me like, oh yeah, you've only got £28 left in your account for food. So at least I know where I'm at without having to physically go look at my spreadsheet budget, because we use a spreadsheet for our actual budget. So it's really good at then it's really good at telling me without having to look at the budget all the time. But in saying that also, I like to use a spreadsheet because I feel like I can put everything on an Excel spreadsheet and it's very easy to look at and review and manage. So I find it really simple to do it that way. So those would be my top ones in terms of apps and a spreadsheet, basically.
And tools and that.
Awesome. That sounds really practical and
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely practical. Do what works for you. That's the key. Yeah. In terms of books, I would recommend a number of books, and this is in no particular order. Calling off books that have definitely influenced our mindset. One of the first books I'll probably shout out is called Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. I'm sure you may or may not know Dave Ramsey. If you do, then that's great. If you don't, I'm sure you find him on YouTube. If you just search Dave Ramsey, he's there.
Okay, cool.
But he's a really straight talking, kind of guy. He keeps it real. And essentially this book is where he breaks down building wealth in 7 steps. And that's the reason why I love that book, because it's clear language, it's not financial jargon. It's very clear and it's straightforward about the fact that you should not fund your lifestyle with debt. His whole philosophy is debt is bad, cash is king. And build cash, get rid of debt. And then he gives you 7 steps on how to do that. And so that's the first book I'd say to definitely check out. The second book I would throw in there is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert.
Oh my word. Like I consciously made a decision to start building and working on my financial health. And I bought that book.
Wow.
But I must say, I think I only read like the first 20 pages. So that's how I decided, okay, no, let me talk to professionals first. Let me build my little knowledge and motivation, and then I'll dive into the book.
Sure.
Now that you've mentioned it, thank you. I needed that sign.
That's good. Yeah, no, you should definitely read it. It's a really, really great book. I love it because it tells a story. It's a money story. Yeah. Just a quick gist of it. The story is about Robert Kiyosaki having 2 dads. One was rich and one was poor. And it talks about the lessons that he learned from each one of them. Yeah. And essentially, one of the key takeaways from that book is how rich people have a mindset of building assets. And then the poor people have a mindset of building liabilities. And a quick example of that is that rich people have a mindset of, saying, how can I afford to buy a new car? And then they go and build an asset, i.e. they might get a rental property, they might start a business to give them enough money to buy the new car. Whereas the poor mindset is, how can I get a new car? Let me go get it on finance.
Yeah, instead of investing and getting money coming in.
Exactly.
They're like, okay, let me just go get a loan, I'll pay it off. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So that's that is essentially what the book is challenging. It's challenging that mindset of building liabilities and saying, no, you should focus on building assets. And essentially that's one of the key quotes that I took from that book as well, is that you should make your money work for you. Your money is your first employee. So that's one of the key things. And so that book is a must read. So definitely read it, definitely read it.
Will do.
And then, there's so many books I can say, man. The last book, I'll throw one more and then that's it. That's it. The last book is a book called The Latte Factor. And I really like this book. So this book is actually more about it's not about how much you're investing or saving, but just the fact that you're doing it, no matter how small it is. If you think about the fact that a cup of coffee, costs £5 or something like that, or €5 or $5. So his principle in this book is that if you invested €5 a day or $5 a day or £5 a day over time, you would still
Yeah.
be rich. You'll still make money from your investments. And so it's just a book around saying you can start off with whatever you have. But the key part of the book as well is that automate it, make it simple, make it easy. Set up an automatic payment that comes off your account to your investments and your savings. That way you won't not do it. And also you won't be tempted to not do it when things get tough. But it's automatically automated. You don't think about it. It just happens.
Because it's also those small amounts that make us broke, you know.
Exactly that. Yeah.
Here and there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's the same. The same amount could make you broke or rich.
That's so true.
Yeah. But check out those 3 books, and I'm sure by then if you've read those 3 books, then let us know on the DMs and Instagram, and I'll throw some more in there as well for you.
I will do that. I will do. I still have 5 months to save my 2020, so it's not that bad.
Oh, cool. Yeah, no, keep going.
Yeah. So the last big question that I have for you guys is about money management and like saving tips for young couples, as you mentioned, like especially Africans that have big things to save for, like dowry or like just students wanting to pay off their loans or clear any debts before they like settle down.
Yeah.
Or like just saving for set goals in general.
Yeah, so I'd say that definitely have a budget, because if you're going to say that you're going to start saving, for example, it's really worthwhile you having a budget and making sure that you're saving the right amount while still paying your other bills and taking care of everything else that you need to take care of. And I'd also say have saving goals. Like, when you've got a saving goal, for example, if you say, I need to save £2,000, you get such an exhilarating feeling when you reach that £2,000. Like, it's such a powerful thing. And make sure you set yourself goals. And when you reach that goal, if you feel like, do you know what, I want to keep going, save some more, set a new goal, because you get to challenge yourself, and it's a challenge for you to reach your goals. So I definitely say have a budget and make sure you set goals for your savings and have targets for your savings. And
because like any human being gets really excited when they accomplish something. So I'm pretty sure once you accomplish that, you're like, oh, so I can do it, and you want to keep going.
Yeah.
It challenges you to do more, and it challenges you to save even more and do better. So I definitely say start with a budget and make sure you set targets for your savings and reach them. Make sure you reach them. Yeah.
Another tip for me would be to think ahead, plan ahead, really just sit down and just ask yourself, where do I want to be a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, or 5 years from now, or 10? There's no limit to how far you can think, but think far enough that it's not, don't say 50 years from now and then just kind of say, I want to be a millionaire 50 years from now. That doesn't mean anything. But if you think to yourself, okay, for instance, maybe you want to buy a house over the next 3 years. And then you really think to yourself, over the next 3 years, how much can I realistically save, or how much can I realistically put towards this house savings goals that I've got? And really having that real conversation with yourself. I feel like that's one of the missing pieces most of the times. We're not having a real conversation within ourselves to really ask ourselves the question of, well, what do I want? What do I want to achieve? And how am I going to get there from where I am today? And what do I need to do in the meantime to get there? And this applies to everything, whether it's career, whether it's your personal life, whether it's your romantic life, family life, etc. But the reason why this is a key point is then it comes back to the fact that at the end of the day, money is just a tool. Money is a tool that will allow you to do what you want to do in your life.
Yeah.
At least it should be. And if you don't manage it well, or if you don't take a hold of it with budgeting, like Lindie was saying, then what would then end up happening is you will mismanage this tool to do other things that are not aligned to your goals. So taking this time to think about where do I want to go, what do I want to do, will then give you the ammunition that you need to then budget, to then save money, to then pay off your debts, because you're knowing that I'm not just doing this just to say that I've saved money, but I'm doing this because I have a goal to buy this house, or to move out of my parents' house, or to get married and pay this dowry, whatever it is. That would be my second thing that I would say.
That tip actually fits with planning, like how to care for a patient.
Right.
And when you're setting your goals, we use the word SMART.
Yeah.
So it's formulated in German, but it's pretty close to English, because when they say smart, they say it has to be specific, it has to be measurable, it has to be attractive and acceptable based on your situation.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be realistic,
Mm-hmm.
and it has to be, okay, in German it says terminiert, which means it has to have a set appointment. Like you should have set your budget to say, okay, I want to reach this budget in the next 2 months or something.
Yeah.
So when
Yeah.
you're giving your tip, it just came to my head. It's like, oh, wow. So really every planning needs to have that formula.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That pretty much like you said, having that SMART goal and being very specific is so critical, because if you're not specific about the money and the amount that you need, you're not going to achieve it. It's just a dream. It's a wish.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you make it specific that, okay, I want to save 10,000.
Yeah.
Or I want to pay off this credit card debt that is at 5,000.
Yeah.
And that's a very specific goal, and also a very specific time frame to achieve that goal. That is the key. So I love that. That's smart.
Yeah, and I'd also say that when it comes to like saving and probably like getting out of debt, saving requires a lot of patience and a lot of sacrifice. And you're going to have to be willing to let go of certain things. If that's going out all the time, you might just cut it down to not going out all the time, or going out half the time you used to go out. It requires a lot of sacrifice. If you were used to getting takeaways every single day, you might cut it down to just 3 days a week, for example. For you to reach your goals, you have to sacrifice something. And in the time when you're doing it, the journey will feel so painful. Sometimes you feel like, you know what? Is it even worth doing? Is it even worth carrying on? But like I said before, you get such an exhilarating feeling when you reach your goals and you reach where you want to go. So it's always worth it. However, sometimes it will feel painful whilst you're doing it, and it won't be as easy to do it, but it requires a lot of sacrifice, and that's something to remember. And it's the same with paying your debts. Like if you're trying to pay off debts and stuff, you have to remember that it also requires sacrifice. It also requires giving something up. But it's also giving stuff up. You need to remember that you can't live the same lifestyle that got you into debt and then try to get out of debt, because that's not going to work. You're going to have to change something, sacrifice something, because it's all worth it in the end. Although it may feel painful whilst you're doing it, it will be worth it when it's done. Yeah.
So like you have to sacrifice to clear that debt, and at the same time, you have to make a decision not to go back to that same space.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Are those all the tips?
Oh, we could keep going. I mean,
because now we're coming to the exciting part.
We don't stop. I mean, we can't stop. The other thing, I'll probably throw one in there since you've given me the floor. My other thing, this is going to be a big one for me as well, is to change, if needed, your environment. Because your environment will heavily influence your lifestyle, your decisions, your mindset, and the way you handle money. At the end of the day, there is a famous quote, and I believe it's real, that you are the average of the 5 people that you hang around. If you hang around people who are always going shopping every weekend, spending money, chances are
you also
you're one of them. If you hang around people who are always paying holidays using their credit cards, chances are you will pick up that habit. You know, and it's very, very, it starts off subtle. You might think, no, that's not me. But it will start subtle. Eventually, 6 months later, it's just part of your lifestyle too. So be very mindful and very critical about your environment. And this is not just about, friends, but it's also about what is around you in your lifestyle, in your house, etc. What kind of things are you feeding your mind, essentially, and you feeding yourself, because all of those things will heavily influence your life. And so that's my other tip. I'd just say be very careful about your environment, but also be very conscious about having the right people in your environment. So it might be that you start to listen to this kind of podcast, to read the right books, to watch the right YouTube videos.
But if you're still hanging around the wrong people, they will convince you that it's all
exactly
all talk.
It's not real. It's not realistic. Everybody lives on debt. What are you doing? All the rest of it, or all sorts of talk will start coming up. And so if you just change your environment, the people you hang around with, join different groups, network with people that you probably would have never networked with before, and open up your mindset and your horizons, because the world is bigger than the small circle that you're probably used to. So that change your environment, and that's the best way that you can definitely make sure that you're surrounding yourself with. If you surround yourself with people who always save, you're going to save.
Yeah, that's true.
Simple, because everybody will be talking about saving. Then eventually you'd want to be like,
eventually you're going to be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Might as well just
jump
in.
Start saving. Yeah, exactly. If you hang around people who are debt-free, you're going to be debt-free at some point. It's just automatic.
Yeah.
So, that's one thing I would also say. Just be very careful about who, because if as personal as money is, your habits are influenced by your environment.
Yeah, true. Awesome. This has been the best e-learning virtual classroom I've ever attended. I have learned so much in such a little space of time. Thank you so much.
No, that's good to hear. That is good to hear. No, we're very glad to be here, and we hope that you now go pick up that book.
Yeah, I will. I really will. I'm so motivated now.
That's good. I love that.
Thanks for the motivation.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
So, for the other listeners out there, like me, I want to know, what if I decide, okay, now I think I need this financial coaching. Where can I contact you guys? That's the process. And what do I need to put together so that we have enough information to start some sort of a inquiry or consultation of some sort?
Yes. So for what we're currently doing is we haven't had a system in place. So we're currently building a system in place right now. But the easiest place to get in touch with us is Instagram currently. So go on our Instagram page at Skilled Finances, slide in the DMs and let us know. And then tell us that you're coming from this podcast,
yeah, sure. Because I was about to say, you're going to have a long line of clients after this.
Yes, tell us. We want to know where you're coming from. So, and then we'll discuss there. I think ultimately one of the things that we are very passionate about is helping you with where you are and to get to where you want to get to.
Yeah.
So but then we'll help you with that. We're not saying come with your goals fully lined up, because you might not know how to do that. So we help with setting financial goals, setting up a budget, and just a general financial health check. We've got what's called a financial health check that we do. So we just check where your finances are, or your financial positioning, and then we'll help you pretty much at its core. We're helping you achieve the goals that you want to achieve and setting up the right path to get there. So slide in our DMs on Instagram. That is the best place at the moment to reach us.
It will definitely be private. Whatever we discuss stays between you and me. It doesn't go anywhere else. So definitely just be encouraged that it won't go anywhere else. It's just between us, as we discussed.
Yeah, and the Instagram is really more of an introduction, hellos type of thing. The actual discussions, we'll do that over the phone or Zoom or Skype. Recorded and fully confidential.
Thank you guys for giving me a part of your time today.
Oh, you're welcome.
No, you're welcome, and thank you for having us. We've loved being here.
I'm glad you did. I will definitely stay in touch because I also want to get my finances in check. But I will read first. That's my side. I will go and finish the book so that I come proudly and happily and well informed. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed that episode and I hope you learned so much, because I did. I learned so much from Thando and Lindie, and I'm going to go back to my Rich Dad Poor Dad and finish it and hopefully change my money situation and the way I handle my money for the better. All the information that you need, all the books and apps that were mentioned, you'll find them in the description box. Do hit them up, do slide into their DMs and get that coaching that you need. I'm not leaving you guys empty-handed. I'm leaving you guys with Jaiva Yepa by one and only Shuffle Music featuring Masterpiece. Enjoy, stay blessed, take care, and I'll see you guys on the flip side for the Sunday shares. From your Bean, with the biggest love.
Just boy masterpiece, the Yana's vocal killer. Get to the shuffle music, Reza Ilota Moroba, man. Just come on, my son. Show me your blessings. Ewang bizumbona, engazithola ngithoma, wathenga khona. Ewang skepa ngijola, ewang bheja ngihola. Umshado ukhona, ewang bizumbona, engazithola ngithoma, ewathenga khona. Ewang skepa ngijola, ewang bheja ngihola. Umshado ukhona, ungabuzi. Oh baby, yes I do. Ungabuzi. Oh baby, yes I do. Woza wena man, vula wena man. Woza wena man, vula wena man. Vala wena man, fihla wena man. Jiva wena man, jiva wena man. Jiva yipa, woza yipa. Sakanyuka adyanko ayipa. Jiva yipa, woza yipa. Sakanyuka opona ayipa. Jiva yipa, woza yipa. Sakanyuka adyanko ayipa. Jiva yipa, woza yipa. Sakanyuka opona ayipa. Woza wena man, woza wena man. Vula wena man, wena man. Woza wena man, woza wena man. Vula wena man, wena man. Vala wena man, wena man. Fihla wena man, fihla wena man. Jiva wena man, jiva wena man. Jiva wena man, jiva wena man. Woza yipa, haba daba kasuka ayipa. Haba yipa, woza yipa. Haba suka daba kayipa. Haba yipa, woza yipa. Haba daba kasuka ayipa. Haba yipa, woza yipa. Haba daba kasuka ayipa. Ungajiva yalo, ungajiva kajuli, ungajiva kafasanga. Shona phansi mawuthanda. Yes, ewang bizungibona, engazithola ngithoma, wathenga khona. Ewang skepa ngijola, ewang bheja ngihola. Umshado ukhona, ewang bizungibona, engazithola ngithoma, ewathenga khona. Ewang skepa ngijola, ewang bheja ngihola. Umshado ukhona, ungabuzi. Oh baby, yes I do. Ungabuzi. Oh baby, yes I baby, yes I. Woza wena man, vula wena man. Woza wena man, vula wena man. Vala wena man, fihla wena man. Jiva wena man, jiva wena man. Jiva yipa, woza yipa. Sakanyuka adyanko ayipa. Jiva yipa, woza yipa. Sakanyuka opona ayipa. Jiva yipa, woza yipa. Sakanyuka adyanko ayipa. Jiva yipa, woza yipa. Sakanyuka opona ayipa. Woza wena man, woza wena man. Vula wena man, wena man. Woza wena man, woza wena man. Vula wena man, wena man. Vala wena man, wena man. Fihla wena man, fihla wena man. Jiva wena man, jiva wena man. Jiva wena man, jiva wena man. Yipa, woza yipa. Haba daba kasuka ayipa. Haba yipa, woza yipa. Haba suka daba kayipa. Haba yipa, woza yipa. Haba daba kasuka kayipa. Haba yipa, woza yipa. Haba daba kasuka ayipa.